Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Rainbow Six Siege Reinforcements. I'm Matt, joined by Jordan.
Hello.
And we are talking about Outbreak because there is a really special thing that's going on. We finally know when Outbreak is happening, we know the dates, we know what's in it, we know the maps, we know everything that we could possibly know until the actual game starts. So, let's get this out there. When does it start, Jordan?
Okay, so Outbreak will be live on the TTS on February 20th. So that will be 2 days after it's shown off at the Rainbow Six Invitational. It should therefore run for about 2 weeks, which is the usual TTS run these days, launching officially on March 6th. So that should be for console users as well. From March 6th, it will run until April 3rd, so that's about 4 weeks.
Yeah, it's a month kind of period, right? Which is what we thought would be the case.
Yes.
So we know when it's happening. We also have got a little bit more information on the lore, right? A trailer dropped showing a space pod landing in the town of Truthful Consequences, right? And but what was on this spaceship?
So there was a leak earlier which sort of showed this almost Sputnik-like satellite. It had some spikes in it, like what we've seen on the enemies. It also had the Russian flag, the Soviet Union flag, and some, I think it was the USSR CCP.
So it's the space project of the Soviet period, right?
Yeah, so that probably suggests that some aliens have come into contact with the satellite, it's crash landed, someone in this town, Truth or Consequences, has picked it up, and that's basically how the Outbreak begun. But we have an official synopsis, which has accompanied the trailer, so we're going to read that now.
A few days ago, a mysterious space capsule crashed near Truth or Consequences in New Mexico. It turned out to be carrying an exotic parasite, the Apex, which infected the area and turned the town's populace into monsters. The quarantine zone is the only thing keeping it contained, but it will not last for long. If the parasite gets out, it would be a disaster of global proportions. Millions would die. Rainbow's mission is to enter the devastated town and destroy the parasite's roots before this happens.
So to accompany all of this, it really was a huge drop of information. Ubisoft also provided some solid gameplay details. So we actually know kind of the missions we'll be doing, how it will play out. Of course, no gameplay footage or anything, so we don't know for sure, but it sounds really interesting.
Yeah, it's unlike anything that we've had before. We're going to be facing hulking monstrosities, exploding enemies. There's going to be 5 different types, which we showed you in a previous video, kind of the previews of. But 5 different types, they've all got unique abilities, so expect a Left 4 Dead style, knowing how to combat specific encounters. They're also going to push the destruction system of the game to its limits, apparently. Basically, these things can tear down walls to get at you. There's none of this hiding behind cover. They're aggressive and they're out to murder you.
Yeah, they specifically mentioned that there'll be that there'll be close combat, which suggests no range enemies. Every time we come into contact with something, they're going to be gunning straight for us. But another thing that sort of links into that is we now know maps as well. So previously we thought they can't be making the whole Truth or Consequences town, that'd be too much. They've confirmed 3 exclusive co-op maps, so they're not going to be in multiplayer. They've also said they're bigger than other maps. They've also given us a description of those maps. So these maps are bigger and more open than PvP maps, with sizable sections entirely outdoors. Being designed for co-op, they are also more linear and feature a clear sense of progression. Nevertheless, the destruction and multipath approach that are iconic to Rainbow Six Siege are still very much present. Will you go in guns blazing or quietly sneak through a side door?
Okay, so this is interesting, and it also links in with some other stuff that's in the blog, which mentions that players must quickly fortify their positions and control the environment while under pressure. Play smartly and with tactics to find a new way of using your arsenal against a foe that doesn't take cover or engage instantly in close combat. The whole thing is fitting together, right? This is probably going to be a series of maps that have you progressing through in the Left 4 Dead style, in a linear fashion, but we'll also have areas where you'll have to hunker down, we'll probably have to reinforce walls, use kind of the equipment that we're used to using in Rainbow, but for an entirely different method.
And the final thing that feeds into that is we also know all the operators that are going to be in Outbreak, so we'll run through those now. Okay, so the operators we'll be playing in Outbreak are Smoke, Ying, Buck, Kapkan, Ash, Doc, Tachanka, Glaz, Recruit, and of course the 2 new operators from Operation Chimera. So we also found out the operator names. This was let loose in another developer blog on the official Ubisoft site. So the Russian operator is called Finka, and the French operator is called Lion.
Okay, so what do these operators say to you? Is there a specific thing that you were like, oh, why have they chosen that operator? How do they work
So the curiosities for me are Tachanka and Kapkan.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
they're both, well, Kapkan not so much anymore, but Tachanka's incredibly static, so it'd be interesting to see how they manage to fit him into this kind of style of play.
Yeah, I can sort of like see them doing a sort of like that 28 days later, sort of like on the lawn with a big machine gun, like mowing down, legions of foes coming in at you.
Yeah. There's not too much in there that I don't expect though. So hopefully the two new operators will bring something particularly interesting to the table. But
and specifically what we know with those, we know that there's stuff to do with like area denial and kind of locking down doors or stuff. So that does emphasize that it's going to be a nice mix of outdoors and indoors.
Yeah.
And finally, we do know that the mode is going to come in two difficulties. There's going to be a standard and what's called a pandemic mode. Basically, standard is going to be fairly run-of-the-mill kind of co-op. You won't have anything like friendly fire, and it will be a kind of casual sort of like plenty of team play. And it's going to be rainbow, so it's going to have sort of like a bit of an edge. But it's your relaxed chill-out session. Whereas pandemic is friendly fire. You have to watch where you're shooting. These beasts are basically going to be able to tear you apart in 2 hits or something like that. So yeah, there's definitely two kind of elements for people, that once they've gone through it a few times, that are ready for the real challenge, right? Yeah. That kind of like, you're a platinum ranked player and you want to prove what you can do against like legions of AI, right? Because these people are probably going to swarm you, right?
Kind of like people speedrunning terrorist hunt on Lone Wolf. It's that step up. So hopefully they'll come with a renown boost or something to accommodate it, like they do in terrorist hunt as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's everything that we know about Outbreak. We're pretty confident that's probably all we're going to know until the actual game itself drops. So check out for that on the TTS and when it finally appears in March on the main servers. But until next time, you've been watching Rainbow Six Reinforcements. Please like, subscribe, good luck and have fun.